Hello and welcome to TalentSprint. We now discuss about the Narasimham committee which was formed by the RBI in the year 1975. As we have seen in the previous video on banking committees, the Narasimham committee was headed by Dr. M. Narasimham, former governor of Reserve Bank of India, and it was formed in the year 1975 to go into the aspects of establishment of regional rural banks in the country. At that time, and rightly so, it was felt that banking was a prerogative of the urban rich. The rural poor did not have access to banking facilities. The last mile connectivity, as they say, was not to be found. And it was thought that the establishment of regional rural banks will go a long way in mitigating the sufferings of the rural people, not necessarily the rural poor. Even the rural rich did not have access to banking facilities. Every transaction was done by cash, and so the RBI felt that there was a need to do away with this system of cash transactions, and hence the RBI thought of the establishment of a regional rural bank which will confine its activities to only certain specified regions within the state, and which will give the last mile connectivity to the rural people. And this committee was formed in the year 1975. And the committee was formed to rationalize rural credit. Basically, rural people were poor and hence they needed access to credit. And this committee went in for the rationalization of the rural credit. After due examination and after due consideration and after due deliberations, the Narasimham committee recommended the establishment or the formation of regional rural banks. Based on this, the Rrb Act, or the Regional Rural Banks Act, was passed in the year 1976 by the Government of India, and 10 RRBs were established in the first place. There were only 10 RRBs in the first place established, but very soon this number had swollen to about 192. RRBs were established with a view to improving rural credit for the purpose of development of agriculture, trade and commerce and industry in the rural areas. The primary focus of RRBs was rural areas. The entire focus was on the development of agriculture, industry, trade and commerce in the rural areas. So to that extent, the RRBs have a distinct rural bias in them, and they do not operate in urban and metropolitan centers. Their activities are confined to the district level headquarters or the taluk level headquarters, and finally the village level headquarters. So that is how the RRBs were formed. And the rural credit rationalization was especially towards small and medium farmers, small and marginal farmers as they were called, and agricultural laborers in rural areas. The entire idea, the entire focus of the establishment of RRB was to rationalize rural credit, not only to the rich sections of the rural areas, but also to the poor agricultural laborers, small and marginal farmers. Small farmers and marginal farmers are those which have very small land holdings with them, and they also needed to be addressed. Their credit needs needed to be addressed. Their banking needs needed to be addressed. They were earlier going from pillar to post trying to reach the district level headquarters or the state level headquarters to get banking facilities. And RBI thought, and rightly so, that they should have the bank at their doorstep. And that is why the establishment of RRBs was formed, and that is why the establishment of RRBs was thought of, and the Dr. Narasimham committee recommended the establishment of regional rural banks in the country. Based on these recommendations, in the initial phase, 10 RRBs were established, but in a matter of a few years, these 10 RRBs expanded very rapidly, and they grew to 192 RRBs in very soon. But again, with anything that is expanding too fast, there was quite a few problems encountered by RRBs, and this naturally led to a rethinking on the subject by the Reserve Bank of India. What they did with the rethinking and how they restructured the regional rural banks, we shall see in the coming videos. For this video, this is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and until I see you in the next video, is bye from me for now. Thanks for watching.